Hello, everybody. So today I wanted to talk about the moon landing. Um, so it happened, guys. A lot of people don't need to hear this, but some people need to hear that the moon landing happened. Um, if I'm not like a major scientist, dude, hence why I'm playing a helicopter game. But I will be covering some like quick. I was like, I am in the wrong helicopter for this. Okay. Um, yeah. I'll be covering some of the most common talking points that I've seen, and also why I personally think that it's pretty much impossible for the moon landing to be fake, along with like pretty much most conspiracy theories are just not valid because of one of the main thing that I'm going to bring up later. Real quick, before we get started, I will be putting a timestamp into this if I feel like it. I'm going to be just covering some channel news that could be important. Um, so I'm like moving soon in like a couple months, so it's not like I have a consistent upload schedule that anyway, but I won't have a good, I won't have any sort of like proper setup for a while after that, so I physically won't be capable of playing. Also, I've been doing lots of, okay, so about the, or real quick, about the UN shorts that I said I was going to do, I think that's boring. I hate editing, so I probably won't actually be doing that. Um, However, what I will be doing is instead of these more worldview topics, I'm going to make that the more minority topic. I think instead I'm going to be focusing on just doing challenge videos of this game because that's not good. Yeah, so I think I have a few challenges in the works right now. But I just really like this game. The whole point of this channel right now is to get this game revived. So I'm going to be trying to do that. This game is Heliborn, by the way, for those who don't know. Anyway, um, so yeah, I'm gonna instead of doing these like covering world news, I'm gonna be doing that. Um, so yeah, that's the situation with the channel. Anyway, back to the conspiracy theories. Moon landing, it happened. Um, you feel free to argue about this in the comments. I'm pretty sure it just drives up the numbers anyway if I've done any research on YouTube. But the most major, I think that one of the biggest arguments I've heard is the boot. If you know, you know. Basically, the there's a photo of the boot that the astronauts wore on their spacesuit. Was flat, and the footprint on the moon had like actual tread. And when I first saw this, I was so fed up with conspiracy theories about this. I was like, they probably had a different boot. And you know what? I was wrong. I'm able to admit when I was wrong. They didn't have two pairs of boots, to my knowledge. I mean, they might have had like a replacement set of boots. They weren't two different boots. It was like, anyway. However, they did have a little cover that went on the boot. So, you know, still happened. You see, moon dust is really bad for, like, everything. It gets in electronics and it just causes a huge mess. So, NASA, because they actually thought of this, they preemptively, they made a boot cover that the astronauts would put on before going outside, and then they can take it off so it doesn't attract moon dust in. At least that's what I know. I literally didn't do any research on this. It's all done like with no research. It's just from what I know. So if I'm wrong about anything, just like what I'm saying is take everything with a grain of salt. This isn't going to be perfect info. And I'm using more general terms here. Anyway, the next topic. The Van Allen radiation belt. another thing that I've done very little research on, but as to my knowledge, the Van Allen radiation belt, or whatever it's called, is mostly alpha and beta radiation. And I actually know a decent amount about this topic because I took, now not to brag or anything, but I'm kind of an expert on this, you know. I mean, I took the nuclear science merit badge back when I was in Boy Scouts. So that was cool. I learned about that kind of stuff, and pretty much the only thing I remember with that merit badge was that the alpha and beta radiation are kind of not a big deal. I looked it up earlier, and it can only really cause harm to you if you like consume it. Which I don't know how you consume radiation, but that's for the people consuming radiation, I guess. Instead, however, for those who don't know, like the nuclear radiation stuff that is actually a threat is called gamma, I think. So it's gamma radiation. That's the actual bad news that we need to be like on the lookout for. And that, so for the penetration test, I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but if I remember correctly, alpha and beta radiation, it only takes a single piece of paper to block. Gamma radiation, it takes 100 pieces of paper. Don't know why whoever was measuring the radiation used sheets of paper, and that's probably just something they told me in the nuclear, so that is an anti-aircraft gun. That's probably something that people in the nuclear science merit badge told me, so that it was like easier, you know. It's easier to explain to children that it takes this many pieces of paper to use to block radiation than like, oh, it takes whatever scientific measurement. So yeah, basically Van Allen radiation belt, if it's mostly alpha and beta radiation, and it takes a single piece of paper to stop that type of radiation, I wouldn't be too worried about the metal spacecraft that probably has copious amounts of shielding for that kind of thing. Yeah, so Van Allen radiation belt is really not a threat here. Anyway, what should I do next? You know what? Let's video like that. So, okay, you know, this is actually perfect. We're gonna have a nice short video today. So, next thing I'm gonna be covering is, if the moon landing was fake, this is more of a question for the fake moon landing people than it is of, like, disproving them. If the moon landing was fake, why did we go back? I don't remember it's like 6 times. It was like Apollo 11 and like, I know there was Apollo 13 because that was the one that had like problems. But why would we go back if literally everyone already believed NASA? If NASA really faked it, right? NASA, let's say hypothetically, for some reason NASA fakes the moon landing to win the space race or whatever. Let's say they did that. Why would they then go back another few times? Like, everyone believes them. The more clicks you take, the more chance that you forget something and like screw it up. So why would you take that risk if everyone already believed you? I'm gonna die. I'm taking lots of banter. Anyway, yeah. Why? That's why I think I don't even need any other evidence. That's the only reason I need to know that the moon landing is real, because there was literally no benefit to leaving. There's no benefit to making the other clips, but they did it anyway because it was real and they can. Oh my god, we're gonna die. I need to get out of here. So, yeah, anyway. And this actually extends to other conspiracy theories, kind of. This is really alright, I don't know why I said that. So, there are actually, like, other conspiracy theories, not all of them. Some conspiracy theories I actually believe. Like, I think there's a reasonable amount of evidence to say that Martin Luther King was assassinated by the FBI. In fact, yeah, the family actually win, like, a court case about it, a civil case. So, yeah. Like, this isn't about all conspiracy theories. It's not bad. Conspiracy theories aren't inherently bad. It's okay to question things. That's how we keep a free world. This is the wrong helicopter again. However, when it's disproven, continuing to try and prove that theory to a certain point is just ridiculous and it becomes dangerous. Am I? Okay, I got side. I don't know why. I literally don't need these sidewinders, but I guess we get extra hellfires with the loadout, so whatever. Actually, I'm gonna use. Whoa, those are enemies. I'm not equipped for this. Uh-oh. Okay, we need to get some distance. Alright, so anyway. The main problem I have with this conspiracy... What do you mean friendly fire? I literally didn't even shoot. Anyway. Alright, where are these guys? Sorry, I'm locked in right now. Friggin' missed. Where'd that guy go? Oh, they're engaged. Oh my god, they're engaged. Okay. God, this is not gonna hit. Okay, we need to get to a better angle. Uh-oh. Dang it. Ah, dude, that's still coming. Okay, where is this? Okay, so, anyway, some of these conspiracy theories are kind of ridiculous because the amount of people that would need to be involved. In order for that amount of people to be involved with the conspiracy theory, like, look, okay. Try to keep a secret between, like, 3 friends. It's nearly impossible to keep, like, a tiny secret with 3 friends because people talk. Try keeping the amount of people it would take to keep, like, a flat Earth, for example. You know how many people would need to be involved on that theory in order for it to work? It would take a stupid amount of people. And, frankly, I don't think that it's reasonable or possible to do that. And so that's why I think the majority of conspiracy theories just don't work. Because the amount of people that would be involved, somebody would tell. Like, we would find out at some point. So you guys forgot to say goodbye for the last video. So, I'm just saying goodbye for that video. I'm just going to slap it onto the back and editing. But also, here is a sneak peek for the No Door Squadron, or my Boeing challenge. So, we got an A6, a CH-47, which I hate. I hate this helicopter with a passion. And not in real life. I love this helicopter in real life. It's a cool helicopter. But in this game, it freaking sucks. And then, of course, the Apache. And yeah, so goodbye.